We have a family off-road camper that will get you and the kids off the highway, off the grid, having a great adventure, so stick with me. Hey everybody, I'm PJ from Princess Craft RV. Today we're going to look at an Australian overland trailer. This is the XT17HRT Family. You're right, it's a mouthful. This is made by MDC USA. Now, they have been building trailers in Australia for a long time. What a great off-road rig, but the best part is it has bunk beds. You can take the whole family. We're going to take a look at all the details. It's 23 foot 2 inches long, it weighs 6,100 pounds, and it is loaded with features. This trailer comes with, of course, solar, big batteries, the inverter, you've got the mud tires, you have an annex room that will give you an entire enclosed outdoor space. There's so much to talk about here. The kitchen on the outside is amazing. So much to see. Let's start inside so you can see how they fit an entire family inside this trailer. Remember, no slide, but it's got all the features you're looking for. Let's start there. Stepping into this trailer, it is easy to see that everything in here is so bright, so open. It feels very contemporary. If you like that modern style, you will love the interior of this trailer. The walls, all the panels, they are a glossy white laminate. It just screams of openness, even though, remember, there's no slide in here. The cabinets, they've got the dark charcoal laminate, so easy to clean, right? But very contemporary. The black on the cushions just gives it a nice pop. They've just done a great job dressing out the inside of this trailer. The wood floor warms it up, so I don't know, put your own touches on this and you could do so much making this bright, making it very calm, you know, using some tan and brown tones, or, you know, everybody's got their own style. Way too much on style because there's a lot of gear to look at in here. Let's start right up here in the kitchen. Now up here, glass top on both the stove and the sink, so the entire space is countertop. The sink has the fold-up faucet here, works great. It is a single handle out of the way. It's about 6 inches deep. Maybe not the deepest faucet I've ever seen, but plenty for this kind of travel. There's easy water access outside too. So if you're getting off the grid, you're probably going to be outside a lot. Just fold this down when you're not using it, and of course you've got that nice countertop. Now over here behind me, let me switch places, lift this up, a really nice 3-burner stove. It's got plenty of space here to cook a couple of things at the same time, and again, when you're done, you just fold this right down, a little indentation on that glass top for your hand, and you have a nice smooth space. Big window in the front. I am a huge fan of being able to open a window right there when I'm cooking. Storage right up here on the top. Now, these latches look very much like ones that just pop out and then you use it to open the cabinet, but they're really very sophisticated and so smooth to operate. Pop it out, twist it to unlatch it, and it opens up. These upper cabinets are going to have the gas props on them so it holds it open. Now, I'm pretty short, but if I step back a bit, I can see up there just fine and reach in. It's about 12 inches deep on the bottom, but it is on a little bit of an angle, so it cuts off some of that height. Still, great storage space. And it comes all the way across here. You can see it's all separate cabinets. And that's really how it's done here in the MDC trailers. Every opening has its own space. If you're going off the grid and off-road, you may have a lot of movement in this trailer, so you don't want things moving from one side to the other. It makes it much better for keeping things where you want it. All right, so a lot of storage up at the top. You've got a soft close on all these cabinets. Oops, that one's not so soft. Not quite sure what happened there, but that pushes right in, gets out of your way. And down below, you've got the same setup and a ton of space. So let's take a look at that. Over here on the end, a full bank of 4 drawers. I love drawers when you're traveling because it's easy access, good separation, things aren't piled on top of each other. Now this one has your paperwork in it, but it's about 6 inches deep and the full length of this countertop here. And I love the way this lighting underneath the ledge, underneath the counter, lights up the drawer. It's just kind of an extra piece that I like. Now the lower ones here, this does catch just a bit on this curtain, so you've got to work past it. You know, it's maybe not the best setup, but I like the thick curtains and I like the cabinet there, the drawer. So only the top one is going to catch on that curtain. So I don't know, maybe open that when the door is open. Fixes the problem, doesn't it? But there are 3 more underneath that are exactly the same size. Next to that, you've got more storage. Now this first cabinet right here, it's going to be underneath the sink, so you'll be working around some of the pieces in there. Again, with this light right up here, you can see in these cabinets really well. Great feature there. That one is, of course, the full depth of that countertop, and underneath the same thing. That one does have a shelf in it because you've got a little gear underneath it. There is some space under there, but it only goes back about 4 inches. Now you notice there is under cabinet lighting as well, and then underneath the countertop. So the recessed lighting throughout this trailer makes it really nice, especially when you're in a really dark environment. So I will point that out as we go along. Now on this other side, flipping around here, look at this nice big open space. And then drawers. Now this big drawer here goes all the way back. It is again about 6 inches deep. The drawer that's underneath that is not quite as long, maybe about half that size because you've got a little bit of gear on the outside. But still, tremendous amount of storage in this kitchen. There's a few pieces of gear up above that we didn't talk about. All right, you've got a hood vent right here. Really unusual the way they've designed this. They have a nice laminate piece finishing out this countertop, so you don't have a change in the edge. And this is going to be the Furrion hood vent with the fan and the light in it, but it just gives it a nice, clean look. You know, this MDC build really looks for a great design as well as functional space. They've done a beautiful job of it. Right next to that, of course, you've got a monitor for your tanks. It's going to tell you what's in your fresh tank, your gray tank. Now, it will have a front and a rear because you've got 21-gallon tanks in the front and the rear, and this gray water tank in the back. So all 3 of those are going to be visible right there. Of course, you've got a CD, DVD player right here in the top as well. It's going to have the Bluetooth setup and the AM/FM. So easy to access right here as you walk in the door. Let's look at these windows while we're here because it's a great time to show you how they work. If you're not familiar with these acrylic windows, they are amazing, particularly if you're really counting on the breeze outside to keep the temperature nice on the inside of the trailer. These switches right here, you just pinch them, they come apart, and you've got the screen on the top and the blackout shade on the bottom. Now, if you wanted partial blackout and partial screen, that's when clipping them together, which you just push them like that and they clip right together. That makes sense. And you can, of course, set that anywhere in the space that you have here. Let's unclip them and open the window. You push the buttons, open these latches. And if you're not familiar with acrylic windows, these are dual pane windows, so they are great for keeping the weather out and the moderate temperatures in. And just push it out, you hear clicks. Wherever it clicks, you can stop that window. So you could have it fully open here. When you want to release it, just push it a little bit more and it releases. Now there are 2 different clicks. You can have it open just a little bit, A little more, hear that click? And then, of course, all the way open where we were before. There's one more setting I want to tell you about. If you open this up, you can set this so that the latch is right here in the slot. You see that? If you put that latch right in the slot, your window is locked, but there is a little bit of airspace here. So you can get some airflow from inside or outside coming in, I guess, either way, but still have your window latched. Great for nighttime when you want just a little bit of ventilation, that you won't have as much condensation on the inside of the trailer, and just get a little bit of air. So don't travel like that. So when you're ready to travel, just be sure you get it latched all the way on the inside. Otherwise, your window is going to catch a little bit of air going down the road, and the acrylic piece may just be left behind. All right, we've got right back here some plug-ins, and you've got the standard 2 USBs, and you've got right next to that the circular 12 volt. You will see this plug throughout the trailer with that same setup. Right above it is going to be the standard 110 plug. Now this plug right up here at the top, the standard household plug, generally needs shore power to run. But keep in mind, if you have an inverter, some of those plugs are going to work, depending on which ones are wired. In the MDC, everything is wired to that inverter. So when you have that inverter running, your battery banks are charged, then you can have that converted over to be using those 110, even if you're not plugged into shore power. That is the beauty of an inverter. All right, I think we talked a lot about the kitchen here. There's so much to see. Let's turn around to the other side of the entrance door, and there's some controls right here. I really appreciate the fact that they haven't done an entire bank of switches for the 18,000 lights in this. So let me show you what they did do. They have these nice flat, flush, white light switches. And if you touch them at the bottom, that's turning the light on and off. This trailer has 3 blue footlights. If you just want to see where you're walking, but you don't want to light up the entire camper, those footlights are going to come on and off, and they will give you enough light so that you can move around the trailer at night in the dark. Right next to that, you've got an overhead light right here above this dinette, and the next light is the ceiling lights. Underneath, you've got 2 switches that are really part of what makes the lighting in here so special. This is going to be right here. Let's come back to the kitchen. I know we're moving you all around, but that is the kitchen lighting. So if you just wanted some recessed lighting on this end of the trailer, what a great night light. The other recessed lighting is right up here in the main part of the trailer, and that is on the next switch. So all the recessed lighting is down below. If you didn't need these overhead lights glaring in your eyes, you know, I'm only 5 foot tall, so they're not in my eyes, but if you're taller, I mean, that could be uncomfortable. So these switches are really nice. Now down below, you've got 2 switches, one to get power to your awning and the other one to open and close it. Down below, you've got these 2 switches here that are going to be the white and the yellow light on each side of the trailer. And below that, right down below at the very first, when you walk in, that's going to be the floodlight on the back and the front, and the step light. Right where I'm standing, this step is a bit in your way in the kitchen, but you want to be careful not to fall in this step. But honestly, there's plenty of walking room in this kitchen. I think you'll be okay. But it is nice to have it lit up, particularly if it's at night and you're going in and out. So those switches are right there on the bottom. First thing you're going to reach for when you open the door. Now, this door is so awesome. You notice on this side, you've got not only a screen here, but you've got this waffle grid so that nothing is going to go through that. You're not going to have something punch through it. The dogs aren't going to lean up against it and break the screen. I'm going to show you more about how this door works, but I think that is one of the nicest features. This is an amazing door. It's not going to damage just by putting your hand on it. You're not going to have all that white plastic in the middle. Great job. Love it. Let's keep going because there's a lot to see here. Now, coming around into the trailer, you've got the breakers right up here at the top and the microwave on the front of this cabinet. Again, I like to point out the styling. There's no reason to have this nice matching panel here, but it just gives it such a clean look. I love it. Microwave right at the top, that's where we left off. And over here, the 110 plug, outlets for the television mounted below. Not a huge TV, but you're off the grid. It works. You can see everything you need to see. I always am a fan of having some space where there's a countertop where you can set what you need here. Now, it might be a bowl to put your keys in, or it might be your camera gear, but easy to set something down right here. For me, it might be my coffee pot. Just saying. Down below, more storage. Let's take a peek. Now, this storage is really nice because these bins can slide in, or you can actually open the door on the other side and slide them outside. So storage, this would be great kitchen pantry going inside or out, because remember, you have a really nice outdoor kitchen on this trailer. That last space underneath, it's only about 6 inches deep, but there is a little bit of space down there to fit a few more things. So I think I might keep my kitchen towels down there. I don't know. Something easy to tuck away underneath. And moving back in the trailer, you've got a really nice dinette here. Big window that opens up just like the one we showed you in the kitchen. Storage up top, 3 cabinets, and as they do at MDCs, they are all separate. So these cabinets are about 18 inches deep. They're really large, and they're all separate. So things aren't going to slide around when you're traveling. Now you'll see another 110 plug over here on the end and some controls. All of that is simply for the TV antenna up top. And the rest of this is open space for whatever you need to take with you. Before we talk about the dinette, let's look at these unique fans. You notice this thing moves all different directions, swivels up and down, but you can also release it here and tip it even further if you wanted. So if you need it to come right down on you, you might be able to make that happen. It's really versatile to get it however you want that fan to be. Now, you notice it's open grid. You can put your fingers in it. I'm going to bring it down so I can show you a little bit more. Push button at the top to turn the fan on. But don't worry, you can't hurt yourself. It's a little rubber fan. You just stick your hand in there and it stops. It's great. It has 3 speeds. There's a medium, and then there's a high. Push it again, it turns off. There's a button on this other side, and it's a timer. So if you wanted the fan to run for a little while and then turn off, say, while you're going to sleep after an hour or so, just set the timer with that button, and voila, you've got a fan for an hour, and then it's going to cut off. So really nice feature. You can, of course, tilt it all kinds of directions here if you want it to go towards the bed when you're sleeping. One of the great features, I think, that MDC has incorporated into this trailer. Now let's talk about the dinette. First thing I like to figure out is it comfortable? It's certainly comfortable for me. This feels like really high-end cushions. They're not super soft, but that's what you want when you're in a trailer because you don't want them to get big divots in them once you sit there for a while. Design-wise, I really like that they made the table match the countertop. You know, whenever there is just one style of horizontal space in a camper, it really makes it feel seamless. I don't know. A nice design feature. And I love the fact that it's shiny as well. Easy to clean, just wipe it off and you're back to square one. Very easy to set it up into a bed as well. So when you make this into a bed, it's going to be 33 inches wide and 70 inches long. Now the bunk beds are 70 inches long too, but they're a little narrower. So this is a nice space if you need it for a third person to sleep. Now it's easy to do here. You have a clip underneath that you just pull back on both sides. And you don't have to hold it while you lift it off, which is great. My hands get tired. And lift this up and it comes right off. And then there is a bar below and you do the exact same thing. Just set it down on the bar and push the clip into place. So it's very easy to move from the top bar to the bottom bar to make the bed. And then of course you just scoot the cushions over. Now the way you get the table leg lower is that it just folds under. Very easy to do as well. Just lift it up and it flips under like that. Move it down to the lower position and you're ready to go. Now when I am putting the table back on the top bar, you kind of have to get a little awkward here, but you have to lift up the leg to undo the switch. Drops right back down into place. So you can see that it's not that difficult to simply drop this down, and at both settings it's very stable. You don't have to worry about poles, unscrewing things. It just lifts off and drops down. Push those cushions over. You do have one extra insert that will come with the trailer to make this into a bed, but wow, I think it's very comfortable. All right, now I know in a trailer like this, especially if you're bringing kids, you're thinking, oh, I need more storage. They've got it. Right under here, you've got the same style drawers, and look at that. That's got to be a 12-inch deep drawer right there. And you've got one under each dinette. Really nice. Now, for those of you who have computers or electronics at the table, you're going to want to know where the plugs are. There's a 110 plug right down below, as well as a set of the 12-volt plugs, the circular and the 2 USBs, like we had seen in the kitchen. Right down below here, so easy to plug into at the table. All right. Want to see the bunk beds? They're right across. We're going to go there next. So kids love bunk beds, right? And in my world, every kid wants to be on the top bunk. Well, these bunks are almost identical, so it really doesn't matter which one they pick. They both have these nice windows, same acrylic windows that we've seen before with the screen, the blackout shade. They have the panel with not only the 110 plug, but the 2 USBs and the circular 12 volt. And they have a reading light. This one's clipped in, so it's not going to move around. There is a great ladder that is going to clip in right here. And what you're seeing here is the pieces that are going to clip down over the top of the ladder so it can't come off when they're going up and down it. Great invention, easy to use. But when you don't need 2 bunk beds, it would be nice to use this bottom area for seating. So they have designed this so it flips up out of the way. So all you need to do is undo the latch right here and give it a push. It's not hard to do because you've got these gas props that are going to help it go up and down. Then you've got a nice seating space down here. These bunks are 25 inches wide and 70 inches long. Same length as the dinette, just a little narrower. And the only difference in the lower bunk is you've got one of those nifty fans. So I don't know, if you like the air moving when you're sleeping, you might want to choose the bottom bunk. Otherwise, they're identical and they're both really comfortable. This is a 4-inch mattress, super comfy, and it makes great seating as well. It feels very similar to the dinette seating, so I don't know, maybe that's what they put in the dinette as well, not sure. Let's look underneath because there is a little bit of gear here. If you lift up the mattress here, I want to show you how they've designed this. You know, this is not just rough wood thrown down. These are really nice lightweight panels that are very easy to remove if you need to get to what's underneath. So let me lift these off and let's talk about what's under here. Lift that one off right here. See how light and easy that is? Now what you're looking at here is going to be, of course, water lines on the right-hand side here with your water pump. That is the outside shower and all the plumbing. But if you're going off-road, things are rattling around when you're getting on uneven terrain. And it's really nice to be able to see all the fittings and be able to be sure you don't have any leaks and fix anything that might need tightening. Now moving over to this other side, these electronics, this is the piece that makes this trailer so awesome. Now in the back, that is the 2000 watt inverter. That is going to take your battery power and convert it into that household current. Wonderful, so that all of your 110 plugs are going to work and you can use the microwave and the AC for a period of time if you have enough battery power. All right, 200 amp hour battery right in front here. Over here you've got your 12 volt distribution system, and right up front you can see the mini boost. What that is that is going to be your DC to DC charger. A DC to DC charger is going to be the piece of gear that is going to bring power in very quickly into these batteries to keep them charged so that you can keep operating off the grid. In front of that is the battery monitor system. Now there's a lot of details that go into this, but that's the basics of what you're seeing under here. The important thing to know is that it's so accessible. And if you needed to adjust, take a look, check the system, very easy to do. All right, these panels, again, very easy to put right back on. And you just grab these little handles and fits right back in. This side drops right back in. Very easy to do. And slide that bunk pad back into place. It is not always that easy to access the gear that they put into these trailers, so that's a really important piece to me. Now right up front, you do have a button to turn that inverter on and off, because if you don't need it, no need to get it activated. In the center here, that is going to be the carbon monoxide LP detector, and on the far side, the Truma controls for your water heater. That is going to be the tankless water heater that we'll talk about when we're on the outside. All right, let's go up and take a look at the queen size bed. This is a really comfortable 60 by 80. That's a standard queen, just like you have in your house. I know I always say this is a really comfortable bed, but seriously, folks, this is a pillow top mattress, 7-inch mattress here, and you're not going to need to adjust that like you will in so many RVs out there. I love the fact that in this area, you've got windows on both sides and another fan right up here in the bed area. There are electrical connections all over this space. You've got the 110 and the USB charging system right up there. And that's the one with, of course, the circular 12 volt plugs and the 2 USBs. Right back here, you've got another 12 volt charging place, and same on this side. So any place you want to put a CPAP, you want to put your cell phone to charge, just anything you need, access is right there. Let's take a look at the storage up here. All three of these cabinets are the same. They're about 8 inches deep, not very tall, but easy access to put some things in here, and I probably would roll up some clothes and stash them up there because nothing's going to be behind it. Easy access for me. I love the padded headboard, for lack of a better word. Sideboard, I guess it actually is, right? But this is padded and it matches the leatherette that's on the sofa system. So really soft. It's not going to bang up if you lean up against it. Just a really nice feel up here. High key vent right above me. That is an acrylic vent that's a really open size. It's going to be the same acrylic that's on these windows. So it does have that gap in between. So it's going to be really good at keeping the heat and the cold out. I love the lights around it, and it does open up completely. All you need to do is to unlatch it and open it up, and you've got full air coming in. Now, if you don't want the lights here, the switch is right above you. So, I don't know, great feature for getting airflow in this camper. Right down below my feet here is going to be the forced air furnace. You do have a Dometic furnace, controls right here on the left, so easy to turn that on and off and set it to whatever temperature you need. So the AC in this trailer is right in the middle, and it's going to keep both sides really cool. This is only a 23-foot trailer, and that includes the tongue, so this space, it's going to heat and cool very quickly. You do have speakers on both sides of it, and 2 speakers on the outside. So you can have all kinds of tunes going, maybe in that big annex room you're going to have outside. But more to look at in here. Let's head up because we haven't taken a look at the bathroom, and there's a really nice refrigerator up there. Let's head that way. Right in front of the bunk beds, there is the refrigerator. Now, it might be easy to miss because it really just looks like another cabinet, except for it's got this weird little latch on it, and that is just to ensure that it stays closed going down the road. Just open that latch, pull this open. You do have to give it a little bit of a tug here. This is a 12-volt refrigerator, maybe different than you've seen in a lot of rigs. I love the fact that it's deep, it's narrow. You've got a lot of facing space here. 3 shelves on the door here. They're narrow. You're not going to fit a giant thing of ketchup in there, so that may have to lay down inside here. But a nice basket in the bottom, a crisper drawer up here, and a pull-down freezer. This is all 12 volts, so it's pulling off the battery, but it is a compressor fridge, so it uses very little battery power. Don't worry about that. It is not like the old ammonia circulating fridges that you might be used to in an RV. You're not going to have any problem powering this. You do have a cabinet up here, and let me get it open. It isn't for storage, it actually is the controls, because when you're off the grid and you're running off your battery, you want to be sure that nothing is running unless you really need it. So everything has a switch. At the top here, you have tank heaters. This is a 4-season trailer. You not only have all the insulation in the walls, the insulated windows, but you also have tank heaters up here and insulated hoses out there that I'll show you. So you can turn on all your tank heaters here. On the right is the battery monitor. Now that is connected to the piece of gear I showed you underneath the bunk bed, and that's going to tell you how much power you're using, how much time you have left if you continue to use that amount of power. If your batteries are charging, it gives you all kinds of information right up there. The red switch right below is a battery disconnect. If you have the trailer in storage and you don't want the batteries to be drained at all, you can turn the battery disconnect and nothing is going to operate in this trailer, and the batteries will be safe from any kind of slight draw, even from an LED light. All right, next to that, if you start over here, you've got the toilet and the fridge light, the DC outlets, the water pump, a hot water here with the Truma, the furnace, and then this one says spare. So that means that if you wanted to add an additional piece of gear in the trailer, you could wire it to that switch and be sure you turned it completely off when you didn't need it. Now down below, you'll see another cabinet, or what looks like a cabinet, and it actually does have a tiny bit of storage space. So let's open this up. Flips down. You've got about 8 inches in this space. You don't want to miss any space that you might be able to use for storage. So you've got about 8 inches deep in here before you hit some wiring and some of the equipment on the outside. But they did give you access to that, so that's awesome. Now, the last thing we're going to look at on the inside may not be the most exciting part of the trailer, but for many of you, it's a necessary part of the trailer. Behind this nice laminate door with a very easy, nice handle, not one of those little knob handles, which I am really not a fan of, you've got a nice white one-piece molded bathroom with a cassette toilet. So I'm going to step in, tell you a little bit about this. Now in here, you do have a window that you can open, just like the rest of the windows. Very easy to just pull it up, have a blackout shade. Big mirror right here in front of me. Now, if I'm stepping in here and this is your entire space, that mirror is super important. I love the way the sink is literally molded into the wall. You don't have seams or caulking you have to worry about. A small corner sink for brushing your teeth and doing the few things that you need to do in here. Single handle, vent right up top with the lights in it. So easy to flip the light on right around that vent. Now behind me you will see a shelf on the top, a metal bar, hanging towels, but of course you can hang lots of things there. And on my left is the bar that holds the shower head. It does have a nice place for the soap. It is adjustable in height. It's perfect for me, but you're probably taller than I am. Now this space in here is well over 6 foot, so shouldn't be a problem for most of you. Let's fit this right in here. And a lot of you will have questions about a cassette toilet. Sometimes it's kind of ew. If you like to camp off the grid, maybe it's not so bad. I will tell you I am a huge fan of cassette toilets. Why? Because you don't need to find a dump station. The outside cassette is going to hold about 5 gallons of liquid, and it takes up the whole space here so you don't have any crevices to work with, but you push the button to put water in the bowl, pull the handle, and it flushes. It really is easy to use in here. You won't mind a bit, and when we get outside, I'll show you how that works. It's really a great system, particularly for an off-grid trailer. All right. A little storage down here maybe. Let's take a look. You do have a shelf there at the top. You have some hoses going through at the bottom, but still could use it for a little bit of storage. And the same thing here. You've got some space at the top and the bottom underneath this, all molded into one piece. These doors have been added in, but everything else, it's really nice not to have all those caulk seams in the bathroom. So a little bit of storage underneath, not a ton. You might want to keep a small basket of things that maybe could hang from the shelf. I don't know, that would work for me. Great space in here. I love it. All right, let's head outside because there's so much more to see. Stepping outside, do you remember I was going to tell you more about this door? It's very unique in the RV business, and it's got all these latches here. It took me a little while to figure out how to work it the first time, but once you get it, it's amazing. So the way it works is pushing this handle down locks all 3 points on the door, one in the middle, one at the top, and one at the bottom. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm camping, if this door is flimsy or not closed tightly, I don't know, it gets out of whack, especially if you're going off grid on bumpy roads, the trailer's flexing. Really nice feature to have a solid connection between the door and the sidewall. So once you have all 3 of these latched, then you can deadbolt this top when you're on the inside. Now, to separate the doors, first of all, I want to unlatch the top and the bottom here, but lift up this centerpiece and it disconnects these. So you've got a really solid screen door there. Isn't that nice? The pets aren't going to go through it. People aren't going to be walking into it. It's not going to be flexible and rip and tear, but you are going to get full airflow. This can clip right back in. You've got the same handle, just comes through the hole in the outside door. It's really unique. You notice there is padding under here, and that is because in Australia, these doors are made for ventilation down below. If you're using any propane inside, they want you to open this up so you get some good ventilation, and you put this padding on for traveling because it is some vents under here. Be sure you get a little extra air in case you need it. Just a great feel, a great look, acrylic top up here. When you open the door, you've got a clip here in case you want to clip it partway open, but you've also got a bumper in case you don't do that. It's not going to run into something. So really nice feature there. I like to harp on the door because it seals well, it fits well, it's not going to need adjustment. Now you've got this handle right next to it. You notice there was a big fat handle going into the trailer as well. You know, if you've been hiking for the day or you're on rough terrain, it's nice to have something to hold on to as you go in and out. This does have a switch at the top. Turns that little light on and off. I don't know, just a nice special feature. You also have a light that's going to light up your step. Remember, that was right inside the door. The steps fold up so easily. They just lift up An accordion in, get out of your way. So, I don't know, nice design all the way around. You know, they have the diamond plate exterior. It is 5 foot tall all the way around this trailer. Doesn't matter if you're out in the brush, something rubs against the outside of this, you're gonna be just fine. Let's talk about the stabilizers because they're a little different than what you may have seen in other trailers. The way this works is that you pull this out and it's gonna disconnect it and it swivels out of the way. Very easy to do and then adjust up and down. Around the back, there are two 16-inch mud tires. Of course, nice to have two spares, not just one if you're going off-road. Up top, you've got the spotlight that I had mentioned on the inside. You've got one on the front and on the back. And underneath that, if you can see it in the film there is a backup camera. It's great to see what's behind you. All of that included in the MDC. Now coming around, I want to show you the cassette toilet. And just push the top and bottom button, opens up that door, nice insulated door because, remember, 4-season trailer. So lift up the latch, slide this out. Comes out very easily, and when you pull out a cassette toilet, the top of it slides closed. All right, you can extend this handle and you can roll this to wherever you want to dump it. So this can be dumped in any toilet, just like you dump a mop bucket. It can also be dumped in a vault toilet or at a dump station, wherever it's convenient. You can even take it home. Of course, dump it at home in your toilet. Works great. Now to actually dump it, it's super easy. I like to latch this handle back in and you swivel this top out, take the cap off, and when you lift it up, you've got another place for your hand right here in the back. It's not that heavy. It only holds just under 5 gallons. Now, there's a place to put your thumb and push down right at the back. That's gonna let some air inside so you don't have any bubbling as you dump the tank. So just let a little air in so you get a smooth flow. Dump it in the toilet, and when you're done, just swivel that right back in and slide this right back in the compartment. Now, when you do that, it's going to open up and be ready for use. So you see, it really requires so little effort to dump that cassette toilet. As far as toilet chemicals, you do it just like you would a standard tank. You'll want to put those chemicals down the toilet. You won't need nearly as much as you would if you had a 30-gallon black tank. Just dump it down the toilet. It doesn't smell. Ready to dump. It's really easy to do. This one spout here at the top, you want to fill that with fresh water because you do have about 4 gallons to fit in this space, and that will go around the top of the toilet. And when you put water in the bowl, when you're using it, it comes from this fresh water. You can always tell if you need a little more water in your cassette toilet because you have this tube right here that's going to tell you the level. When it starts to get low, just swivel that out, add a little more fresh water, and you're good to go. Very easy system to work. I love it. All right, let's keep moving. Now I want to look underneath here. You can see you've got the bars underneath, and that is going to keep you from hitting any bumps, hitting anything on the side that's going to damage your trailer. You see that going forward, you've not only got nice mud flaps, but this drain right here has protection as well. Now, this is an interesting drain. This is how you're going to drain your gray tank. It's a 21-gallon gray tank. You can see all of the tubing is insulated, so it's not going to freeze. And it isn't a standard 3-inch sewer hose. You don't need that on this trailer. You just need some tubing that's going to slide right on when you need it. It's a 1-inch hose. You could hook it up to a cap that goes in a standard drain if that's what you're using on a standard dump at a campsite, or you could also drain it into a tote tank and dispose of it that way. Whatever works best for you. So it's a very easy fitting. You just need some hoses. You don't need that big 3-inch sewer tube. All right, let's head forward. Now's probably a very good time to talk about the suspension because they have some great features here. And MDC is very proud of their brand name, so you'll see them listed on the back of the trailer. So what you're looking at here is Tough Track's That is the heavy-duty gas shocks that are on this trailer. Trailer Sure, well, that is going to keep this trailer stable when you're going down the road. It is a sway control that's built into the trailer. As you go down the road, it is going to affect the brakes on each side if the note's a little sway to keep it tracking right behind your trailer. It does go dormant when you go off-road, because when you're on that bumpy road, you don't need those brakes engaging. It knows when the road gets extremely rough, it needs to turn off and let your suspension do the work. Mega hubs, just heavy duty systems. BM Pro, that is going to be the piece that I showed you down below the bunk bed that is going to be your battery monitor system, and the Life Pro Plus, which is their brand of lithium batteries. So a lot of great stuff here. Now, they also, under here, you're going to get a good shot of that. You've got the X-Track trailing arm suspension under there. This independent suspension, along with the 6-inch galvanized steel tube frame, is going to make this tough, nimble, and ready to go on your next adventure. Now, moving forward on the side of this trailer, there is the outside shower right here. And of course, it is a handheld with hot and cold. And remember, it comes with the outside shower tent. Now, we filmed that on another trailer. Let's take a quick look because I want you to see how spacious it is. Let's talk about our shower room. These are so easy to set up. And for those of you who are out there, you may have some outside gear, you get really wet, really muddy. You might want to shower off in here. It's a great place to start. Let's step inside and take a look. This outside shower is perfectly designed to have an outside porch light coming in, so if it's at night, you've got the light. You've got a handheld shower head that can strap in right up there, and the hot and cold right here. Remember, you've got the Comfort Plus, so it is going to be circulating. This hot water is going to come out really quickly. You do have a floor with this. I mean, you've got an outside shower, then you've got the nice inside shower. I mean, it works for everybody in every situation, right? Okay, let's keep moving. Now, some of you may be thinking, you're right, I'm 5 foot tall. I am not a large person, but that is 4 foot by 4 foot, and it's 7 foot tall. So yeah, someone a whole lot bigger than me would still be really comfortable in there. Now, just above that, you see the connections for your water tanks. City water fill is right up front, and behind that, the front water tank, the rear water tank, and the gray water tank. Can be a little confusing, but if you think about it, you've got 21 gallons in each of these tanks, including the gray tank, but usually there's no way to flush out a gray tank. If you're going off grid, it might be great to keep that really clean so you can use this access to put fresh water in there and rinse it out before you put your trailer away. All right, up here, the Truma system. Very nice because this is your hot water system. Difficult to see. I'm going to open this up just a bit. Not anything like what you've seen on a standard water heater. But this is really well done. It is not an instant water heater, but a tankless water heater. This is the AquaGo Comfort Plus. And one of the features of that is you are going to have the anti-freeze system built into this. What that means is you can set it so it circulates, has a heating element in it, and when the cold weather comes, none of this system is going to freeze, and you'll still have the hot water you're looking for. Goes right back in here, close it right up. The venting for that furnace, remember you have that direct furnace coming out right under the bed, and right back here is your outside pass-through storage. Lots of great storage in here and very well lit because if you're camping off the grid, that's really important. It's going to be dark out here, folks. You want to be able to see everything in there. All right. These doors too, they're heavy. A lot of times you will see us working on compartment doors, opening them up and closing them, and they just don't weigh anything. These have some weight to them. They're thick, they're insulated. They're going to take care of your gear if you're out there in cold weather. Coming up front, they have put great storage in the front of this trailer. Again, off-grid capable, that's an important space for you. I'm also really impressed with how they put these latches on and this opening and closing here. It is adjustable and very solid. The space over here has two jerry can holders in that area. Over on this side, let's open this up. And in here you'll see the two 20-pound tanks, propane tanks with the regulator. They do have a single stage regulator on this, so you'll want to attach that to one tank, and of course when it's empty, you simply attach it to the other tank, take it to get it filled, or exchange it. Let's take a look at the tongue. Again, you can see this 6-inch framing here, really robust, and they put a faucet right here on the top. That is such a great feature. You get running water right up here at the tongue. It'd be really nice if you're filling cans here from your tanks or just rinsing things off. A lot of uses for that. You notice they have a handbrake. Makes it very easy to stabilize this trailer in the front when you're unloading it from your vehicle and just keeping it really sturdy. Let's take a look at these chains. I love that they have hooks on the side, so when you're not using them, they're not in the dirt. Now folks, these are heavy duty. This is a 6,100-pound trailer. It doesn't probably need this heavy duty of a chain, but if you're going off-road, taking a lot of wear and tear, maybe going uphill, this is going to be your friend to keep that trailer attached. There is a little different coupler than you'll see on a lot of trailers. This is a DO35. It is a Cruise Master hitch, and it is so easy to use. There is a lot of articulating hitches that are difficult for me to manage personally. My hands aren't that strong, and I find this one to be not only easy to use, but I can tell exactly when it's locked in. Instead of a standard drawbar with a ball on it, you're going to use a different style coupler with this. It's a pin model, and once you drop the pin, then you can push down and it locks into place. If that pushes out the bar, locks into place, you're connected, and there is no question as to whether you have it in the right spot or not. I really love that feature about it, and then you just drop the cap on the top. So it is very easy to connect this and to know that it is locked in. That's really important if you're using an articulating hitch, you're going off-road. You're going to be turning all kinds of directions, and this pin with the ridges in it is going to keep it solidly connected to your vehicle. Let's take a look at the plug, because instead of a rubber, they use this woven flex hose. This is a standard 7-way that you plug in to your vehicle. On top of that, they have wired this with an Anderson plug. And the Anderson plug is important. You're going to have to put this DC to DC wiring in your vehicle. It is something a dealer can do for you, and a little additional fee, but that is what makes a trailer like this really work, because you're going to need that kind of charge going through this cord to keep that battery charged and ready to go off-road. There just isn't enough power built into this 7-way plug to power up this trailer while you're driving. So you'll want to get that DC to DC charger put together right there. You'll notice also they have a dual wheel here on their caster. Again, it is just like the stabilizing jacks. Just pull the handle and it swivels up out of the way. Very easy to use. Coming around, you've got reflectors and hooks right here. Really all that is to give you a little protection coming into the corner of your trailer here. In this storage box, let's open this up, because on this side it is completely open. So you can put any other gear in here that you need to carry with you. And handles on the top. You know, I always find reasons for handles, bars that are going to protect the front of your trailer if you hit a branch, but also tie things on. I have seen all kinds of things tied on the front of trailers sitting on top of these storage boxes. You know, it doesn't have to be anything heavy, but a little more gear that you want to take with you. Inside this compartment is going to be the other side of that pass-through storage. Now you'll not only see there's a light right there, great, so you can see inside, but up there behind it is going to be a 12-volt plug-in, and behind that, an Anderson plug. That Anderson plug is the same as the one up here. A lot of the coolers that fit in right here on this slide-out tray might need a little extra power. So you could use either one of those connections to power the coolers that would fit here. This can hold up to a 95-quart cooler. I don't know, that's a lot of food on the outside. Slides right back in, of course, a really nice ball bearing slide, clips into place, and has an extra secure piece here. Now you'll see this on the kitchen as well. I love this heavy duty pin because it has barbs on the side that are going to hold it open. If you're camping and you don't need that extra security so it doesn't move around, then it's nice not to have to do 15 things to pull out the slide. So it can set itself open, so you're just unlatching on the right side here. When you're traveling, just turn that, drops right back down, and that's not going anywhere. You know, when you go the extra mile to put in some of those features that just make it so much nicer to camp with, it makes a difference. Let's take a look right here, because this is a really great outdoor kitchen. Again, you've got that same clip for extra security so it doesn't go anywhere, but a drop down here for the pull out. Let's pull this out. I'm going to walk around the other side here. The elastic piece holds that in place. This opens up. I love the little screen right here for the stove so nothing is splashing over. You've got the same glass top stove here that you do on the inside. And a drawer pulls out. It's about 2 inches deep, but wow, how nice to have that right here. And bottle opener. Love my bottle openers. I'm a Corona fan, so got drawers over here, and it's going to be a flip down because you've got your hoses in there for connecting everything. Now these shelves are really a nice feature. They just flip right up. They have a latch on this side. Switch those over and you've got all kinds of space for the food, the utensils, whatever you're cooking with. Nice sink right here with the flip up. Again, same sink you have on the inside. Light right here inside the space, and the electrical connection just inside there. So what a great kitchen. And it's going to be awesome when you're going to be inside this annex, or maybe you just put the awning part out. There's a few more conveniences here. One of them is you have 2 switches right here. Now, both switches are for the same light. It's right here and it's going to light up your kitchen. Now, the bottom one, let me see if I can show you. The bottom one is going to move it from yellow to white. But if you wanted more light, you can turn on the top one, and that gives you an extra bright white light, lights up this entire space. So, set it up however it works for you, but really nice to have an outdoor kitchen. You can see everything, have a great time cooking, and not need to bring any extra lights. There's also a leg that you can set up underneath the end of this, so it's extremely stable. You can put those big heavy pots right on top, not going to have any problem there. All right, there's more to see right behind me here. That is going to be the space where you can hook up that television that's inside. Just move it to the outside right here, plug it in, and you're good to go. And right behind that, you have an outside table. So many different ways to use this outside space. Right here, the 110 plug, and let me get this piece open. This is the other end of that storage we saw in the kitchen. Remember, you're going to fill your pantry up and you can open it from both sides. Wow, what a great space. Now I want you to understand how great this annex is, so we're going to show some footage from another trailer where we actually set it up completely. Take a look. We have the annex room set up here for you. Yeah, it was kind of magic while we were back there. But this is a full 6.5 feet wide. And remember, this trailer is only 22 feet long. The length of this annex room, 18 feet. It's really amazing. Let's step inside. Now, I'm not going to lie, this did take us just a few minutes to set up, but well worth it if you need that extra space. I mean, it protects you from the elements, it's going to give you the shade, the bug protection, and yes, if you get some weather, every screen has a roll down to protect you from the weather. So, really nice setup in here. You've got the kitchen behind me, we've already gone through that. Lighted handle. Porch light is on the inside, table to set up there. So you could use this room for sleeping, for hanging out, whatever works for you. Such a great feature, and did I mention it is included in every trailer? Not only is this a great space, but you have option for an additional door on this end. So it really depends on what works best for you, how you lay it out, and what you're using it for. A few more things I want to point out about this annex room. The waterproof floor comes with it. Awesome. And you do have a waterproof skirt right here up against the trailer. So it is fully enclosed. If you wanted to get more poles, I did notice there are grommets at the end of the window coverings. So you could extend those out for rain flies, maybe additional shade, whatever works for you. Extremely durable, extremely versatile. This is such a great addition. And I think I mentioned it's free, it comes with the trailer. The annex is amazing, and if you add that to the independent suspension, the 2,000 watt inverter, 200 amp hour batteries, 700 watts of solar on the roof, I mean, you have this camper that can go anywhere you want to take your adventure. This is the best off-road camper for families who just want to get away from it all. I'm PJ from Princess Craft RV. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.